So today I'm just going to ramble on and tell you a story. It was around 2004, that's like 20 years ago. The ICC was carrying out a project on the structure of cricket, and they had hired consultants to undertake this project. And of course, I was certainly part of that project as the CFO of the ICC at that time. The project required there were different parts of that project. There was the structure of cricket. There was also the commercial and financial side of the game, and it was quite a major project. And for the financial side, I was responsible for basically completing that side of the analysis with the consultants. Now, in order to look at the financial structure and to make recommendations, we needed data. We needed data from certainly all the full member countries of the ICC, which included, of course, countries such as England, Australia, India, New Zealand, Pakistan, South Africa. And we needed commercial data, which was, of course, sensitive. And then, of course, we signed NDAs with all the cricket boards, and the cricket boards, supplied us with the data that we needed, except India. The BCCI, which at that time was led by Mr Jagmohan Dalmiya, and a man who I've got nothing but the highest regard for. And I will do maybe a separate podcast on Jagmohan Dalmiya sir. So BCCI was chaired by Mr Jagmohan Dalmiya, and the information wasn't coming. And I happened to be sitting next to Mr Dalmia at a dinner and asked him for that information, and he said that Faisal, it's not that easy. It has to go through my board. It has to go through various steps. These are very confidential numbers, and why don't you come to India? Why don't you come to Calcutta, which is where he was based? Why don't you come to Kolkata, as it's known? We'll take you through those numbers, and it'll be a lot better. You'll be able to understand it. And I said, certainly, of course, that's not an issue. So I ended up in Calcutta, Kolkata. I arrived there, checked into the hotel. I then got in touch with Mr. Dalmia's office, and they said that, look, tomorrow it's going to be difficult. Sorry, we have to change our plans. Tomorrow it's going to be difficult because something unexpected has come up. Some business meetings are going to take place. But, we're going to send a car for you and just, do what you want, go sightseeing. We, in fact, recommend you see these places. And, the driver will show you around, and he knows what to do. So I said, okay, that's fine. So the next day I spent sightseeing. I saw Calcutta. I saw the Victoria Memorial, the garden. I went to see Mother Teresa's, mausoleum. I, drove around, as a tourist. Saw the Grand Central Station, and generally I saw Calcutta, and I had a really good day. Got back in the evening and got in touch with Mr. Dalmia's office, and I said, I hope tomorrow will be okay. And they said, look, unfortunately, tomorrow it's going to be very busy as well, so we won't be able to see you tomorrow. But Mr. Dalmia will send the car for you, and in fact his son will be happy to also show you around. So I said, okay. So the next day, the car turned up. Mr. Dalmia's son turned up, and uh, he happened to have graduated maybe a year or so ago from the same school that my father went to school in in Calcutta. And when I asked him what school he went to, he said, I went to La Martine School for Boys and I said that, hey, that's the school that I think my dad went to in Calcutta. Do you think it's possible for me to go and see the school? He said, sure. He actually called up the principal of the school and he said that, look, I'd like to bring a visitor over whose dad went to La Martiniere School many years ago. The principal obviously knew Mr. Dalmia's son, and he said, you can come straight away. So we went across to the school and we were shown around. And it was such a wonderful experience for me because, over the years I'd heard a lot about La Martiniere School and my dad's experiences and the sports he played. I had a picture in my mind. And it was so wonderful to be there. And in fact, when I was in the, they had this auditorium, and I actually called my dad from the auditorium, and I said, Dad, guess where I'm standing? I'm standing in your school's auditorium. Anyway, that was a wonderful experience. That school, by the way, also has a tailor inside the school, which I think is such a wonderful idea. So, kids, they rip their shirt or their buttons break or something, and the tailor just stitches it up right there, in 5 minutes, and he charges them a few rupees, and it's great business for the tailor, convenient for everyone. I think every school should have a tailor. And I think they also had someone to fix shoes, or maybe the tailor did that as well. Anyway, so we had it, and then Mickey, that's his son, took me across to their business, and I had a great time. So it was a second day of sightseeing now, but no business. Business was not moving forward. So anyway, I was back at the hotel. Next day, I got in touch with Mr. Dalmia's office again, and I said that, look, I'd really like to, to now discuss some business. It's 2 days of wonderful sightseeing, but we really need to, because I need to be heading back. I can't keep on postponing. So anyway, they said that, all right, what we'll do is tomorrow we'll send the car for you. Do some sightseeing, and we'll see you in the evening at about 6 o'clock or something like that, tomorrow evening. So I said, okay, that's fine, but please, I hope we can now make some progress. So the next day, another sightseeing day, I saw the rest of Calcutta, and it really was an eye-opener and a wonderful experience for me to see that city. That city is just incredible, absolutely incredible. And maybe I'll do a separate program on that. But the evening, thankfully this time, the car actually took me to Mr. Dalmia's office. And there we sat down and we discussed. And then I said, Mr. Dalmia, look, I've got my flight tomorrow. I really would like to, make some progress on this. And so Mr. Dalmia is a perfect gentleman. And he said, Faisal, relax, I'll just give you everything you need. And he said, but first let's have some dinner. So he ordered dinner. We sat in his office and we had a lovely meal. And there was some cricket match going on his TV in his office. And we sat and we watched the cricket match. And at that time he told me, he said, Faisal, the ICC, you guys are trying to promote cricket in China. At that time, there was a Project China going on through the ICC and the Asian Cricket Council, and they were planning to pour a lot of money in promoting cricket in China, which at that time they considered a big market, and even the USA was being looked at. So these were the two big markets which the ICC was looking at that time, China and the USA. And Mr. Dalmia said, Faisal, you guys, what are you doing? It took 100 years for cricket to be where it is in India today. Do you think that it's going to happen overnight in USA and in China of all places? No, it's not going to happen. Yet at the same time, there are established cricket playing countries like the West Indies, Zimbabwe. They're the countries that need your help. Cricket in West Indies is suffering. So stop this USA and China business and concentrate on West Indies. Concentrate on Zimbabwe. Give them a lift up instead of starting a new project. And honestly, I think he was right. He's absolutely right. So anyway, we had some very good conversations, and I will tell you about a few more in another episode that I do specifically on Mr. Dalmiya. So anyway, so we watched some cricket. We had a great conversation, and we had dinner. And then after that, I said, Mr. Dalmiya, look, I really need to wrap this up. I'm leaving tomorrow. So he said, okay, fine. So he called his assistant, his administrator, who actually kept all the records to do with cricket, the ICC, etc. And he came in and he had this file with him, and he gave me the file, and he basically showed me that in this section there's this, in this section there's this, in this section there's this. And he said, Faisal, everything you need is in here. It's confidential, so obviously it's not. It's only for your project purposes, and we hope it won't go any further than that. And here you are. And if there are any questions, you can always call me, email me, or do whatever. So I gratefully accepted that file, and I said, Mr. Dalmiya, he was affectionately known as Jagubai. I said, Jagubai, thank you for this file. I'm really grateful. But I've traveled a very long way. Monaco, Dubai, Delhi, Calcutta. And I've got to go back. Calcutta, Delhi, Dubai, Monaco. I've spent 3 days here. I've seen Calcutta. Wonderful city. I would have never ever had the opportunity of seeing Calcutta and of experiencing going to my dad's school. That really meant something to me. It still does. But you could have just given me this information, sent me this information. So, why did you make me come all this way? And and you know what Mr. Dalmiya said? This is classic Jagubai. Shows you his heart and shows you the sort of person he is. He said, Faisal, at that dinner when we were sitting together and you were requesting me for information, you looked stressed to me. You looked really stressed. And I said to myself, he needs a bit of a break. So I'm going to give him that break. So I'm going to ask him to come to Calcutta. I want him to relax in a hotel. I want him to do some sightseeing. And after he's relaxed for a couple of days, that's when I'm going to give him this information and he can go back. My goodness. That is really a wonderful story. I don't know if that means anything to anyone, but to me, that is really something that is going to stay with me for the rest of my life. Coming back to that project, maybe I'll talk about it in the future. But that project eventually did complete, and thanks to Mr. Dalmia, I got the numbers. The project was completed, and I saw Calcutta. Till next time.